No, I mean, on first glance, like I'm not looking at engraving things or anything right now, but just compositionally, I think it's like really strong. The way that the text painting is here between the piano and the voice, like this to and fro, this back and forth, and then the ripple thing here with these triplets against the eighth. Is that what you're talking about on your community post the other day about the polyrhythms?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was considering even having eighth note in the top voice and then triplets in the bottom voice on the right hand, and then also having 16th notes in the left hand. And actually that was more at what measure 14, but I decided with the 16th notes in the voice part, you still get all of those levels. It's just you don't have to ask the pianist to do quite as much.
I think what you did here is exactly right. And also the other thing is the rippling effect. Like it's not you don't want it to be progressively more rippling. It's more like kind of a random rippling. And you did that
Hmm.
here. And then the 16th note thing is because you wanted to end the phrase. So 16th notes, triplet, triplet, and then you go back to the eight. It makes a lot of sense. So I actually really like what you did here. And it was closer to the Chopin example, I think that piece was referring to. Right? With the
Hmm.
Chopin, it was three against two. Yeah, the liggity
Yeah,
I
with a
gave
lot
you
of
was a little on the deep end,
uh
but and then you go over here and then and you kind of phase out of this. I don't know how much of this. I think I'm not a pianist, so I don't know 100% if this is playable. Some of this stuff here, but I'm like really impressed with this. Like I don't have much. I know it's not helpful for me to say I don't have much to say, but I really don't have much to say because I from where I saw you just a couple months ago to this, I mean, this is like a massive improvement in the way you're thinking about text painting, number one, and then the way that you're thinking about how the piano matches with that. So it's hard to like say like what the next big thing to do is. Then I mean the next big thing, I mean to me is obvious. It's like, okay, now this looks more complete and now it's time to start doing articulations and start really honing in what this piano part is and also the vocal part because I think it's a little bare right now. I know you said there's some text that's missing, but I think the piece is like pretty much there. How do other people feel about this? Am I just full of it here? Like, what do other people think about this? Like, did you feel that the piece was complete in itself and the way that he composed, set the text versus the piano character painting?
I think all the materials are there. So I think whatever's missing from the next verse is going to fit in, fairly well. Do you have the ending in mind?
Yeah, I have some material sketched out. Need to go back and kind of shift things over. Part of the reason they'll be kind of tricky is I'm taking the two main harmonic progressions from the first section that you see here. It kind of cycles up with as far as root motion. Like measure 4, we have this E flat to G flat and then B flat motion. I don't have my notes, but there's two sets of like rising by third motion, and I'm going to interstitch them in the second section, explore from there. So because I'm changing the melody, I'm just going to need to change some of the harmony too. But yeah, it's going to be kind of through composed as far as structure. This is just a really nice poem, and I don't think I need to do a lot to make it kind of a complete thought. Just fill in the rest of the poem, and
Yeah.
it will fit well.
I mean, like reviewing this with a closer eye now here, one thing I would just like keep an eye on, is how often the piano part intersects with the voice part in terms of the range. Because there's many parts like here, like you kind of mimic the range of the voice part. And my challenge to you, I guess, is like, are there moments where you don't need to have the piano playing in the same range as the vocal part? All the time it's mimicking like this G was with this G, this thing is the same, this is the same in this like kind of fourth line space up here, keep still, like it's all kind of like in the same range as the vocal part. And I wonder like how much is that is necessary. And the second thing is like how much of that piano music do we need? Like, could there be parts of the piano music that could be simply deleted in key moments? Because I think you have like a lot of piano music here. Actually, I don't think that's the problem. Like when you have a real singer playing this, there might be some fighting going on between the piano part and the vocal part. Honestly, you might not even know until you get there with the performer. It's always easier to delete notes than to add them back. So you might like when you hear it, or even in your head when you hear it as best as you can, realize, hey, like actually some of these notes are unnecessary. Like maybe I don't need, like for example, maybe I don't need all these pitches. Maybe on keep still, I don't need this tremolo. I just let it keep still, and let the voice keep still without a tremolo that's underneath, which is not still. There's like moments like that I wonder, like, do we need all that extra piano stuff? when the piano is doing its job everywhere else with the rippling and all of that. So that's a question mark for me. I'm not even 100%. I'm not 100% sure. It's subjective feedback at that point.